Hi, and welcome to the Rereview, where we review reviews, so you know what reviews to view. I'm David.
And I'm Jared.
All right. Yeah.
Yep, it worked out well.
Yeah, I'm so glad we planned this.
All right, so we're gonna start off with our review this week. It's a review of the Sistine Chapel.
Sounds holy.
All right, it starts off with he's feeling a bit torn here. As a Catholic, I was looking forward to my visit here. The Sistine Chapel obviously is rich in Catholic history. I mean, this is where they elect a pope. Cool! Of course, Michelangelo's artwork is phenomenal. I was hoping for a more transcendent experience, I guess. Don't get me wrong, when I was able to actually focus on the art, I was impressed. However, it is extremely difficult to appreciate or enjoy the Sistine Chapel for a few reasons. None having to do with the art or Catholic heritage. Everything to do with how it's managed. First, no photos! This is what you'll hear about every 2 flipping minutes while you're there. I get it. I truly do. The chapel is considered sacred ground and a sense of reverence is meant to be kept. However, when the guards are yelling, all caps, definitely
All
yelling.
caps. They're yelling it.
It is very disruptive to the mood. There were 3 guards. 2 of them just stood near the entry blabbing away only to start screaming no photos or to be quiet or to remove your hats. This is a long wait just to get in. They should have positioned guards along the way briefing people. The other guards stood at the exit. Hey, how about circulating instead? If there's no enforcement present, of course people are going to start yapping and snapping away on their iPhones. Second, the chapel is much smaller than you would imagine. I'm guessing there are at least 500 people standing in here. Bumping, sweating, grinding. If this had been a club in Vegas, I'd be okay with that. Maybe if they timed the visits to pace the crowds, I don't know. I just know that I went there twice and both times I kind of left a bit underwhelmed when it was expected to have been an overwhelming experience. It's like getting great food but horrible service at an acclaimed 5-star restaurant. There's a lot to digest there.
There's a lot going on. It seems, though, I don't know if this is good or bad for Apple because it seems that Android users they're more holy because when the guards aren't looking, it doesn't seem like Android phones are coming out. It's only iPhones. So Android is close to godliness, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't even pick that out of there. I'm glad you looked that over.
Well, like you said, there's a lot going on here.
I'm also glad to know that this man would have been okay with, just 500 people in a club in Vegas.
I have never been to a club in Vegas, but I guess now I have a choice. Go to a club in Vegas or go to the Sistine Chapel.
Good to know you can get your grind on either way.
The question I have, though, is where am I going to see more penises? Sistine Chapel, Vegas Club. I don't know.
I think, honestly, the chapel.
There's at least, there's a score of penisi all over the place.
Let's see. What else is... let's see. What was his actual review on this? Was it 3 stars out of 5?
Jeff gave 3 out of 5 stars. I guess iPhone users ruined the experience for him.
Jerks.
I know, right? I mean, we get it. You have more money than Android users, I guess. But that doesn't mean you have to ruin the experience. But my question is, we have these guards shouting, no photos, and also take off your hat, be quiet. But do you think they ever shouted at one another, be quiet, after one shouted, no photos? Because they are yelling in all caps.
And blabbing.
And blabbing. No blabbing, no yapping, no snapping. Put that on a sign.
Beautiful.
No yapping, snapping, or capping.
So, so we'll give this guy's enthusiasm for signage a good, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 for signage. And in terms of his review of the chapel itself and what he saw there, I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of penis eye.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Like, you know, a 2 out of holy symbol.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Protestant and you're Jewish or something weird. So so I honestly I don't know what I should be feeling towards the Sistine Chapel, but so I guess in terms of information, I am more inclined to not go to the Sistine Chapel.
Like, I mean, this review isn't of the chapel. This review is simply of the guards at the chapel.
Yeah. So you know what?
Like, I'm not gonna go hang with those guards. They sound like, you know, lame people. I'd much rather just go look at the Michelangelos.
Yeah. How about this? I got an idea. We're going to open our own Vegas nightclub. We're going to call it the Seventine Chapel. And it's going to have penises all over the wall and 3 guards shouting, "No pictures, no yapping, no snapping."
Yeah, I like this idea.
Yeah.
No, you called it 17?
Yeah, Sistine was 16 or Sistine that was taken.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought we were calling it 17 because that was the amount of penises painted on the wall.
Yeah, there's also going to be 17 penises in the wall.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, now I'm in.
And only 32 balls actually. So few folks are going to be short there. So you make that what you will.
Yeah, so you know, not the most solid review we've had on the show.
No, a lot of passion though. A lot of passion.
It's like 3 solid paragraphs. That's very impressive.
Appropriate use of caps. So, yeah, good review. Good review of a bad review for a place. So, moving on though, if you recall, last time we said we were going to watch Cannabis Kid for our movie review. I watched the movie. It wasn't bad. Honestly, it definitely has a target audience. So if you're into the cannabis movement or the story of a kid who is talking about how he's growing and selling and all that jazz and government intervention and legalization, if that's your bag, I say give Kid Cannabis.
Your baggy.
Yeah, if that's your baggy. give Kid Cannabis a try. So we had to find something that was actually bad. So we decided to stick with something that we know is bad. It's got everything that makes a good movie, though. It's got Willem Dafoe. It has Ice-T, the drink, and the person. Unfortunately, it also has neck tattoos.
I mean, it does. This is the one that does not have Vin Diesel, correct?
I don't remember if he makes a cameo in this one.
He's not the guy. That's all I know.
No, when
it's a movie that Vin Diesel said no to. Just if that doesn't cue us in.
Yeah. So if you're ready for an action-packed political documentary, get ready for XXX, State of the Union.
Oh boy.
Hold on real quick. Yeah, I'm ready. All right, stop the recording.
In the center of American power,
we are at a critical moment in our history.
An attack is being prepared.
Some men die so others may live.
On a target
Don't secure! Lock us down!
you never expected.
Mr. President, an NSA chapter was just hit on our own soil.
Whoever attacked us knew exactly what it hit. We have to go off the grid now. I want to give you a job. Be just like old times.
Last time I ended up in here. Darius Stone, trained sniper, top scores, urban recon, demolition, led a mutiny against a 4-star general.
Darius Stone no longer exists.
Who the hell am I?
You're the new XXX.
God bless America.
Now, one man is discovering that the greatest threat to our nation
Secretary of Defense Deckard?
comes from within.
They got tanks, choppers. This man is making a move on the U.S. Capitol.
I'll do whatever it takes to best protect this nation.
You're going to take the president out.
No, Captain. You are. They pull the trigger, you take the fall.
Cleanest revolution in history.
Fellow Americans, our union is strong. Everybody out!
To deal with these guys, I'm gonna need some serious gear.
If you need anything,
Anything?
You're not getting away with it. What can one man do?
You're gonna have tanks waiting.
Let's crash this party.
That's what I'm talking about!
Wars come and go, but my soldiers stay eternal.
I like that. Who said it? Jefferson, Patton.
Tupac.
All right. Well, that was a movie.
Yeah. Without a doubt, we just watched that.
So let's start with some of the high notes. It is an action movie, and there was no shortage of action. I'd say probably every 5 minutes or so, action scene.
Yeah, and wherever there wasn't action, they had scantily clothed women. So it really made up for the lack of action.
You know, conceivable plot. Who needs it? Action.
Action. I mean, I know you shouldn't expect much from action movies, particularly those involving Ice Cube, not Ice-T. It was actually Ice Cube.
Little bit of a mistake there.
To Mr. T out there, I apologize. I just get my refreshing substances confused sometimes. But know that the only thing that could have made this movie better
Would
was
be
having
Ice-T.
absolutely a nice tall glass of iced tea. Both the drink and the artist
and the person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no shortage of action. I mean, what else would you expect from a movie named after pornography?
Yeah, actually, that's when you told me you wanted to watch XXX. I was like, that'll make for an interesting review.
See, when I typed it in, to Netflix, oh boy, the things that came up, because that movie is not on Netflix. Also, when I tried looking for it on Amazon, oh boy, also, unless you type in the full name of this film, you can expect to not find this film.
Yeah, because I have HBO on my Amazon account.
Oh boy,
There's some dark corners of HBO that you can easily find by typing XXX into your search engine.
And on that note, I guess we'll get back to talking about this particularly XXX.
Oh, right. Here's what it has in common, though, with your movies of similar title. No story, you get what you're expecting. Like, if you get a XXX movie, you know what to expect. And if you get XXX State of the Union, you know what to expect.
I wouldn't say that there's no story. It's just that the story is told to you through exposition that's, usually very short-lived. Usually, like I said, less than 5 minutes per. So you get your 5 minutes of exposition through conversation before getting into the, action moments.
And also, anytime they do give exposition, it's usually ended with, you've been working on that speech a while. Like, basically everything was a speech, and they always make sure you, the audience, knows it's a speech.
Oh, yeah, it's been scripted. Yeah, you gotta give a shout-out to your script writers.
Yeah, expertly crafted. If Ice-T actually had a writing portion in this, I would believe that. I believe it.
Yeah, he wrote all the good stuff.
Yeah.
I liked Exhibit's role in this film. I think he played a great character.
Now,
mostly himself. With the whole car thing.
Now, we saw in the credits that Exhibit was going to be in this movie, and we made the assumption that meant he was going to be running a chop shop of some sort.
Oh, that he was going to be, pimping some rides.
We were not wrong. That was absolutely 100% correct.
Which, I'm glad to say was the only predictable moment of the film.
If you told me that Ice Cube was going to jump out of a train and use a grenade launcher to break the surface tension of the water, which he fell like 700 feet into, moving at about 200 miles per hour, I would have said you're crazy. But that happened.
That's the kind of action we reserve for Crank.
Yeah, didn't see it coming. Did not see that coming.
Yeah, so there were some wonderful moments of this film. I'm trying to remember them.
It's very forgettable. There's all sorts of characters in it. One of them, his name was Shaver. Was it Shaver?
Yeah, Shavers.
Yeah, he was in the movie.
At some point, probably sold razors.
More than likely. Yeah, he was the nerd, the nerdy white comic relief.
That's all he did.
Did he do his job? I didn't laugh at anything he did, so I'm going to go ahead and say no. Then you had the love interest, Lola, who had about as much chemistry as a cat and water.
Yeah. They did not get along very well. They never looked to be getting along very well. And even in that final moment where they, finally find their love for each other, it looks so forced and feels forced and just like it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, like I felt bad for both of them. I feel like they were both like reading the script together and they got to that and they're kind of like,
oh, really?
Why?
Can't we just talk more about the cars and stuff?
I mean, it's certainly no Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift, but
I mean, few movies are.
I can't think of a movie that's better than Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift, but this movie tried to be that, I imagine, and it didn't work.
No, not even one little bit.
So XXX State of the Union is not quite as good as Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift. But then again, what is?
I mean, there are very few things.
I mean, there's Schindler's List, but that's a different genre.
That's... I don't like throwing the list at people.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Look,
like
they tried to make
apples.
a movie just like... You can't go throwing the list at them.
Yeah, and that's like comparing apples and Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, you just don't do that. I mean, clearly, Tokyo Drift.
It's unfair to both parties.
100% unfair.
The only problem is, this movie tried to be Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift.
Huge mistake on their part.
Okay, and I'm done talking about Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of some more good, nice things to say about this film. It's
Willem Dafoe.
It's under 2 hours.
It's close to 2 hours though.
But it's 20 minutes shy. It is not a full 2 hours of pain. There's some nice horses in the beginning. Gave us both some flashbacks.
Are we watching Horse Dancer again?
Oh no!
Not like this. Yeah, I thought we were watching Horse Dancer again. Thankfully, it turned out to be not as bad as Horse Dancer.
Yeah, so you can take that one to the bank.
Yeah,
not as bad as
cash
Horse
that check.
Dancer.
Put that on the poster. XXX State of the Union. Not as bad as Horse Dancer, the ReReviewers. Put that on the poster. What else was good about it?
I'm still thinking. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson played Samuel L. Jackson in this movie, which is always refreshing, really. Imagine a movie where Samuel L. Jackson played not Samuel L. Jackson. It just wouldn't be that good. I would feel cheated, and all Samuel L. delivered. So thank you for that.
I'm remembering now what this movie kind of made me reminded of, and it was a combination of Fast and the Furious. I see now why you mentioned Fast and the Furious 3 Tokyo Drift so much. It was like somebody took that and mixed it with Undercover Brother. Like, there was a whole lot of like exploitation in this film. It didn't sit well with me.
I mean, on the one hand, they are rebranding it. You had Vin Diesel, who is rather white, and perhaps during this time, 2005, 2006, there weren't enough good black action stars. And I really feel like Ice Cube, he can do that because I mean, he's NWA. He
looks
he's
mean.
Ice Cube.
He's got
He's
that
a mean
attitude.
dude. He's got the attitude.
Oh
He's
man!
got that-
Oh, why did I never put that together? They were looking for someone with more attitude. Oh, NW. Oh man, never put it together.
Okay, that's
Okay.
yeah, that's yeah. All right, you know what? Good on the casting. Casting, you guys did it.
I mean,
But-
you know, the love interest maybe not so much.
Forced it. But I mean, okay, so black action stars, not enough of them. Ice Cube, I think he did it. I think he filled that role. It's just what we've seen from him more lately. He's capable of more.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But they didn't give him the opportunity in this movie.
No, the script did not allow.
I mean, you had Willem Dafoe, who I imagine did less than his usual amount of cocaine for this role, and that just kind of made him upset.
Yeah, he looked very mellow.
Yeah.
For you know, his usual Willemness.
Yeah, not enough of the goblin gas or whatever that stuff was. Would that have made the movie better? No. But it's just everything is so typecasted. You have the nerdy white dude, then you have the equal action-y guy, white dude, whose name I can't remember because just everyone's so forgettable. You then had the potential white love interest who turned out to be a traitorous hoe. Then you had Lola, who was
the actual love interest.
with
Although
about as much.
You wouldn't know if they didn't tell you.
That's a peanut butter and mustard sandwich right there. Right?
No, I don't want to write a review on a peanut butter and mustard sandwich. I don't.
Yeah, it's as bad as it sounds. Don't believe me? Watch the movie. Am I going to say don't watch this movie? Watch it. It had a budget. They had a basic understanding of camera work.
They only blew up a CG Shelby Cobra and not a real Shelby Cobra. You can feel, some relief there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Shelby Cobra, I feel like that's a good segue into what is wrong with this movie. It's an action movie. I think we've acknowledged that.
So, lack of plot and, pacing that,
character development.
Yeah, that's understandable in this sort of film.
Storytelling. Basic understanding of physics and friction. And for example, you have a Shelby Cobra driving
with no tires.
With no tire, it's on the rims, on train tracks, gaining speed on a bullet train. I don't claim to have an understanding of math or how things work, but I'm calling BS on that. That was kind of the limit for me right there. And fortunately, it went till the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And then there's hydraulic lifts picking up Paladin tanks.
Oh, well, yeah, and the the launcher, the plane launcher, the catapult that launches a tank like no big thing.
At a tank. Yeah, that may have been the coolest scene ever, because how often do you see a tank shot at a tank?
Right?
So
I got to give her credit for that.
Yeah, credit. You earned this one. You earned that. Would it have worked? I don't know. If there's anybody who's worked on an aircraft carrier, if you can tell me if you can hook up a tank to one of those jet launcher things, if you can just tell me that could work, this movie's going to get, it would be a 6 out of 10 for me. But until I get that clarification, we'll go into the score later. But what else is wrong with the movie? Just a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's just every conversation is exposition.
It just doesn't feel good.
No, every character is one-dimensional. And just... I will say, though, this movie was a little bit ahead of its time, perhaps. Certainly during the time the movie was released, there was two very unpopular wars, and it's the argument about military funding. They never resolved that argument, by the way. We don't know if the military got their funding.
Okay. So I was just looking up some stats on that catapult. And it looks like it can drive a 45,000-pound plane to 165 miles an hour. So, now how much does a tank weigh?
Because if you remember, they had loaded the tank up with a bunch of supplies. Just look up
62 metric tons.
And how much could the thing launch?
I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know what kind of tank it is. That was the weight of an Abrams, which is one of the heaviest in service.
It was a little bit lighter it was definitely smaller than an Abrams tank. However, I believe it was launched into a Paladin tank, which is, I could be wrong. I believe that's about the size of an Abrams tank.
So even even if it's half, right? Even if it's 30 tons, that's still twice the weight of the plane.
And also is dragging it on treads, not tires.
And not getting assistance from the rockets.
Yeah.
Man, the moment's ruined. I hate this movie now. I'm done with it. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Oh my goodness. And immediately following the whole launching a tank into a tank, he then jumps into the water, and the bullets are, and they're, they got all the military dudes shooting at him, and the bullets are penetrating the water and zipping past him. But there were like 12 dudes shooting at him, and disregarding the fact that the bullets would break on impact with the surface of the water, every one of them missed him.
Yeah, I think that's more unbelievable than the bullets actually going into the water.
Yeah, I don't know if Mythbusters had busted that one yet, but assuming they hadn't, somebody should have hit him, winged him a little bit, a little clip somewhere, but that did not happen.
Yep. I think one of the other disappointing aspects of the film are the soft explosions.
Okay, I'm so glad you brought the soft explosions. Now, you might be asking, what is a soft explosion? Well, you see, when you have a normal explosion, you are hit with shrapnel or debris of some sort, metal, wood, rock, and that, rips your body to shreds. And then the heat of the explosion just basically cooks you.
Burns whatever's left, yeah.
Yeah. However, this movie was filled with soft explosions, which do none of those things.
Yeah, they're downy soft.
Yeah. It's just like, when you're exploded and launched 20 feet into a bunch of downy toilet paper towels.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's just a feather bed. That's a soft explosion. And there's a lot of them. I think there's only 2 explosions that actually injure somebody.
By my count, that's correct. Which normally would sound like a lot. But there's a lot of explosions in this film.
There are many explosions. Actually, the 2 explosions, there are 3 explosions I can recall that injured somebody. One of them was launching tank into a tank.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was spoiler alert, by the way. That said, I also don't remember anybody's name. On the train, the gas line was cut in the kitchen. Ice Cube said something clever, and
lighten up.
Lighten up. He said, "Lighten up" to the hillbilly. No, hey hillbilly, lighten up.
There it is.
Something to that effect. And that explosion killed the other dude. Fortunately, Ice Cube was within the soft explosion radius, so he was fine. And then the second one killed Willem Dafoe. George Deckard. George Deckard, the Secretary of State.
Yes.
Yeah.
His name will never be mentioned without Secretary of State being mentioned at some point very shortly afterwards.
It's the little things you begin to notice when you just kind of let go. It's like, for example, George Deckard. George Deckard, Secretary of State? Or, hey, that's Deckard. Deckard?
George
Secretary
Deckard?
of State?
The Secretary of State?
My name is George Deckard, Secretary of State. Okay.
Okay, we get it.
It happens a lot.
Well, they really, really wanted us to know who he was. So, screw everyone else. Don't need to know or care. The only reason we remembered Lola's name was because at one point, very late in the film, somebody else says her name.
I'm pretty sure that was the last name mentioned in the movie, which is why we remember.
All right.
Otherwise, no. So,
are you ready to give this thing a rating?
Yeah. I'm going to give it a on a scale of soft to hard explosion. I'm going to give it a
raging softy.
A raging softy.
A scale of 1 to drift. No.
Almost.
Almost.
Not quite.
You almost got it right. Missed the clutch there. Yeah. On a scale of 1 to action, though, definitely. It was there. I saw it. I believed it.
Yep.
Yep.
That's that.
I think that's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. We're going to roll into our upcoming mystery review. So here's the answer to our last mystery review. Just a quick synopsis. What the reviewer left was, this is our favorite Christmas movie of all time. So I bought this fancy version on a treat-yourself Tuesday whim. This format is laboriously bad. Our money would have been better spent on buying a cheapo DVD version. At least we would have gotten to watch the movie we purchased. I feel like there were some good hints in this one. Christmas movie. It was a DVD, Blu-ray of some form. So if you guessed Die Hard 25th Anniversary Collection, Collector's Edition, Blu-ray DVD box set, you would have been right.
What did we say they won?
Possibly Dinner with Me, if I'm available.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe a T-shirt, which I've drawn on. Something inspiring. So, you know what? We're going to keep that going. So, if you're able, if you're able to guess what this next review is for, yeah, I'm going to draw on a T-shirt. I might even go all out, get a black T-shirt, use a silver and or gold Sharpie to draw something meaningful for you, just to make you the king or queen, or whatever your preference, of guessing random bull crap.
Yeah, if you can figure this little disaster out, oh man, I wish I had money to buy you nice things, because this is a special little conundrum.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not spending any money. Like I just have a T-shirt here, which I will draw on.
Yeah. All right. So this week's mystery review is Works Like Suppose. Comes in a nice little box.
Okay, that's not a lot to go off of.
Yeah, we felt bad about leaving you with just that. So here's a second review of the same thing. Really cool, many hours of fun. My mother and I really enjoy that activates the brain and other senses straight. I started with hard shapes and I enjoyed very much. You know, I'm not sure I feel any better.
That didn't help at all. Okay, but I will say this much. I will give a third hint, not a review. I'm just gonna give a hint. It's not a personal massager or a sex toy. So go ahead and get your minds out of the gutter. That's not it. So that about wraps it up what we have for you this week. But here's a little sneak preview into next week's movie review. We have 1995's Blue Juice. That sounded way better in my head. All right, so here's
it's better than like telling them we're gonna bring them the blue juice next week.
I guess so. I mean, we got
Yeah.
All right, so here's a little summary. JC is the hero of the Cornish surfing community. Staring 30 hard in the face, he fears that the wave that has carried him through a prolonged adolescence is heading for the rocks, as his girlfriend pressures him for commitment, and his friends contemplate growing up.
Oh man, I remember when
oh
I
boy,
contemplated growing up.
I can't wait for that one.
Boy. So this one, is this some sort of drama that we're gonna see next? Is that what that's?
If it's a drama on a surfboard, I think this could be the next Point Break.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
So go ahead and send us ideas for new movies you'd like to see us review, or maybe it's a movie you really like that you think didn't get enough attention, or a movie that's really bad that you just want to curse other people in knowing exist. So if you have a movie like that, you can send us a tweet at _ReReviewers, and that's all we got for you.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
Enjoy.